This video shows Foolio being killed, and its presence will place a great deal of individuals' extended period of incarceration on the other hand. One hotel employee witnessed things developed, and the decision was made to arrive send it anonymously. It was a compensated this heat is paid for. It's not routine gunfight where someone paid us several games. Not just one. Multiples is not the same as 1G. Several parties involved in a terrible scenario now even let go of one of Foolio's operations. Who had visited the motel a few days earlier, someone arrived before to the murder. That day to check if he had been examined to see if someone has examined because they informed her about this. And has anybody checked in to see what they celebration this evening? And with all of the federal, these intel heads will really begin to roll. Let me soon update you on all the craziness items that were discovered by Foolio. Murder video made public revealed the death of Giulio Foolio never stops being strange. Day, and as of right now, video from the scene was made public and based on appearances of items that Foolio's ops had presented one among the best coordinated and prepared rap history's biggest hits. The CCTV footage from the occasion is only a single portion of the riddle, but it will provide some profound hints on what transpired that evening and the time before the murder immediately after. The CCTV footage discloses that the gunman was using some modern weaponry. I refer to the streets possess a huge amount of firepower, but this just seems next level, bringing to inquire as to the precise perpetrator of this strike from the whole film. It's simple to recognize that there were many shooters first involved. The car seemed to be already moving quickly, indicating that those in the vehicle with Giulio were attempting to avoid being shot by another first gunman. Nevertheless, they encountered the second gunman, who was at the corner waiting for them. It seems that the gunman was aware of that the car would pass him by, but the odd thing is that the gunman didn't shoot randomly, as is often the case in most gang shootings. Members of gangs shoot gunshots in the hopes of get as many of their ops as you can. It explains why Foolio has endured many shootings. On October 6, in the past, Foolio was involved in a gunfight in 2023 that almost took his life. On that tragic evening in his own town of Foolio from Jacksonville was operating he drove a black Dodge Challenger. Subsequently died this year when Foolio drove via the 18th Street West 3100 block, a neighborhood of homes, rather than a 1-mile distance from the Paxson School. Advanced studies, the evening's main focus was broken by the sound of gunshots. Based on statements from different police enforcement suspects allegedly fire on Foolio's car with many gunshot wounds in it, the assault was swift and vicious, departing Foolio suffering from a foot gunshot wound and was sent to UF Health right away. Jacksonville for medical care. The next day there was a post on Instagram stories. It seems that one of his parents' message received, "Please remember my son." The night before he was shot in his hating city, he was involved in a comparable circumstances. On November 8, 2021, Foolio was at an Ernest Street home, recording music with several people. The residence that has previously been the topic of several grievances from neighbors. Potentially questionable conduct emerged when in the epicenter of a violent altercation. Giulio Foolio reported to the police hearing gunfire, while when he went outside, the gunmen were in a black SUV or pickup. Foolio brandished 2 weapons and opened fire in what he says was defense for himself.
I shot back in self-defense. Y'all dumb. I shot back in self-defense. You don't think if I did something illegal, I would be in jail? The police put me in the back of the car.
Foolio was touched by a shot, but declined to visit the hospital. Rather, he was seen being led to an automobile, limped because to his wounds. As per the ops, shot almost 100 shots with the rapper times, and in 2020, he took part in another gunshot, causing him to go to the hospital, where he took a video recording slandering his "I wasn't killed by an ops shot on. You're really dumb." In all of these situations, Kendra, the op, took a random photo, but this one was unique, and the gunman was aware of it. Foolio fired while seated in the passenger seat, looking through the co-driver's windscreen side. But it isn't even the most peculiar. It seems that there was a portion of third shooter that's clear to see when the car turns. The third bend, flashes of light emerge from the driver's side. It seems to be concealed amid the parking cars. Was the scene of another shooting. Car proceeded and pulled into the vacation in the parking lot. Back to the first claims claiming Foolio was murdered. The rapper was parked at a Holiday Inn, was in fact awaiting examination, a hotel next to the vacation spot right now. If any of this seems weird to you, Just wait to hear the next strange section that will wow you and a hotel staff member disclosed to a reporter who, only a few days before to the firing, one of Foolio's operators may have walked up to the hotel where the shooting took place. Video clip of 2 males that you posted arrived there. I would want to mention that on Friday, 2 boys has already arrived at that hotel, and you said that several of them arrived up there prior to. Yes, it's captured on video. As it turns, they were curious as to whether there was anybody slated to get a celebration at the hotel surfaced there, to verify whether he had been checked in that day. Observe, has anybody arrived for them? They informed her of this and saw that anyone who arrived for their celebration on if your head hasn't been blown yet. Tonight, here's another cup of tea from the hotel staff. Acknowledged a person who had arrived to the hotel earlier than the person that was filming this was young. They go an Ace affiliate Fallout Sosa who visited our hotel, and which one are you? Chatting about how it's F outa or whatever that. Oh indeed, Sosa has been up there and it gets even more profound than this. Foul out. Sosa was one of the first to upload the corpse of Foolio in hours after the incident, his automobile location with the statement, "Damn boy." What strangely, the police had cordoned off the location of the crime with tape and didn't permit journalists to take photos. I don't know how individuals obtained images. Therefore, we had to support the B camera team. Couldn't it even approach that closely? Thoughts that discredit SAS participation seemed a little odd in how she claimed to have witnessed Sosa foul out in the hotel. Hence, he was the first to own the actual Foolio dead image. As one commenter noted, foul out after securing that selection. Another statement was made by Destiny. Then she said, read witness protection. Sosa was fouled out on camera. Week before, much chatting, pray for this woman and her family end up becoming the A hotel employee has already provided Sosa's photo to the law enforcement and was already speaking with the FBI. Oro seemed to be on the route, must be trembling, and Foolio's ops. This was done in their footwear in cooperation with the chief of police for Tampa during a town hall, who also disclosed that the federal government had joined the conversation.
I'm working very closely with the Jacksonville sheriff. I spoke to him today. I've spoken to the statewide prosecutor. I've spoken to our prosecutor. I've spoken to the FBI and the ATF, and everybody is working together to ensure that we can make an arrest and hold those accountable that are coming into our city and committing these violent crimes.
The head of police also worked together on the woman's narrative to the media, thought they would have sufficient proof and arrests will be made very soon. And I can assure you that we will be investigating and making an arrest in that instance. And it was even from the municipal hall, it was obvious that the police were aware precisely what had happened that evening. The officials initially murdered Foolio. Understand that Foolio had already committed disclosing his location to his ops, but giving up they erred by proceeding with the transaction. Social media, they inform people of where they're aware that they're heading to the police. The gunman had ties to Jacksonville because considering Tampa is hours away, they are now collaborating with Jacksonville police to investigate the Tampa police case, and the Sheriff's Office of Jacksonville has also been dropping similar suggestions and hints to the media regarding upcoming. As an example, they have both been examining the topic of social media research, lyrics, and posts to crack the case.
Are you guys looking at the social media aspect?
Absolutely, we're looking at the social media. We're working with our Jacksonville partners, getting intelligence on that.
And they talk about it in rap videos and songs, and we're not going to allow you to just arbitrarily run around and spray bullets into people's houses and cars. And
there will soon be Oro, and everyone concerned should have been ready to serve a lengthy sentence in prison. Foolio's affiliates, among others. You heard me directly from the proof that some of affiliates of Foolio could also discover themselves in shackles after their treachery. The rapper Fio betrayed this. He wasn't even kidding. Oh, blast someone off in a few games using PID, and not just one, but many. There are many guys, not just one. Those engaged in the circumstance. There much discussion around Foolio being duped. And it seems that this is nothing new from what Foolio wrote in 2019. A warning from Facebook stating that I'm too devoted, my heart can get me murdered. Attention has recently gone to the wrong individuals, shifted to Kenny Caps, a Foolio affiliate. Kenny Caps acknowledged on camera and in front of Foolio something he finds amusing. Ace, who is youthful, and from whom they speak periodically when using the No Jumper podcast, Kenny candidly said that he conversed with Foolio's primary operator, even proceeding to state that he's okay with him in an uncomfortable, and obviously I thought, sorrowful Foolio sits next to him. You may respond to that fry tonight. About a week ago, Ace, after Fio was Kenny posted to Instagram after his confirmed death. In response to news, to respond. You know my heart the figures, but I recognize and courtesy the game. I feel at ease with you give Osama a baby boy hug for me. And never let go tell him I'm still thugging him. And I rode long for this, so I placed in too much work to rest. Really being said, his article demonstrated that the two spent the whole evening together. An additional Foolio affiliate who stayed at his side all night and has been socializing with the ops. He was even uploaded by Mizzo Foolio on the night. He murdered him and took my brother with him. Looking out for my day, God. Nisley has been shown to have a rapper affiliated with Ace Backstreet really just 3 months prior to the assault, where the two vacations something about Mexico combined that confused the guy on the internet who is highly active on WoW. How Fio even on vacation with the ops would, after this, I'm not sure. Ask how are you going to say Foolio to one and all? Guys, but you publish it with his operations, and here's where the final selection inquired of another. Things go chaotic for the hotel employee disclosed that Foolio's operations were discovered camera in the hotel asking whether no one was scheduled to throw a party. But it was never intended for the hotel to. First off, as you can see, the rapper on June 14 went to Instagram and shared a poster stating that he would be Florida for his birthday celebration, and even revealed the date, time, and place on June. The rapper chose to go down on 23rd, 2024. To celebrate his 26th birthday, go to Tampa. Foolio even posted an invitation on Instagram. Friends and supporters to go swimming with him celebration at a Tampa airport. The occasion was extensively advertised on social media, ensuring a joyful and celebratory evening. Today around 5:30, the pool party will begin. If you already have the address, dude. If you need the address, pull up, we have it. DM you immediately during the pool party. Begin at 6 o'clock, however the celebration was quickly stopped when the cops showed up. In order to close it, the gang had gone over the highest number of guests permitted at the according to Airman. They were forced to go. Louis Fusco, Foolio's lawyer, the event became too boisterous, attracting the local police department's notice. As law police got there, they because to the loudness and high occupancy due to concerns. They chose to close the party. Foolio posted on Instagram to communicate in his annoyance. He shared that the police had ended the celebration and removed him from the airman. The cops closed airman, shut us down and expelled us. So that's weird project he shared. And this is the kicker, the hotel was solely involved in following their eviction. It appeared as even if Foolio had a fallback strategy, police closed off his celebration since cops often attend airman gatherings. In contrast to the only individuals at a hotel who would possess knowledge of the hotel's backup plan have to have been as near affiliates as possible, and that his ops understand just which hotel. Hence, it seems that they had an insider in Foolio's inner circles. What's more intriguing is that Foolio was drunkenly, something he never did drinking because I don't really drink. I'm grateful that everyone showed up for my birthday. You understand what I mean? Happy birthday to every one of you on your birthday. They placed their shin the hey everyone. Let's play 3-man. 1, 2, 3. He states unequivocally that someone forced him to consume drinks. The hotel staff who came forward under anonymity disclosed that the process of checking in was delayed. Foolio entered the hotel with his group, thus Foolio and a few other men returned to the automobile. In her, Foolio's opinion was obviously the young guy became inebriated from what the others see. Me and my colleagues has been discussing how he was already elevated high, or something he couldn't do with a female. Feo was limited to the ability to drive passenger seat, and the moment the gunfire began, there was no way for him to hide out there or attempt to flee. He was a sitting duck. All this information about his demise keep fitting together and painting an image of a well-designed scheme by it seems to many that Foolio wasn't intended to really escape the place alive that his chief operator Ace had posted the day before. A tweet that seems to validate his evilness arranges for the guy to leave on the day he arrived. Ace wrote that the text is on the wall and obviously obvious that this was a sinister scheme to harm Foolio. But several are not shocked since he was regarded as the Jacksonville rapper who was most despised at work, my city's brother. Like my city, I'm the most despised person in my city, but it's just a matter of Jacksonville, Florida, where I was raised. Just despise me, dude. On the outside, it seems that you're the most disliked. Indeed, it may be the most now loathed in Florida. Hatred for Fio was so potent that it had seeped through, sort of completely into the Chicago drill scene. Silly. Well, so why does everyone dissing exactly why you dubbed when Doug passed away? How come he wasn't even familiar with us? Group, he was wondering why the idiot was trolling that idiot who was making fun of us. Foolio has so many adversaries that he had a bounty on his head. How does it feel to you? As like you had money on your, I haven't heard any rumors in my brain. Is there any question in the street that even his own people framed him for death? The judge is certain of one thing. Foolio's, there are other instances in which a rapper has been captured on video during a gunshot. Rapper gunshots captured on camera. First, Reva Motorsports XXXTentacion is erected in the latest was in Deerfield Beach, Florida. The rapper's last known location, June 18, 2018. The rapper was leaving Reva Motorsports in his car. A black SUV obstructed the path of the automobile, and a pair of guys sprang out to grab Rob. Following the heist, there was a fatality of the well-known rapper before going to Yes. Earlier that day, at the dealership, Dwayne Ricardo made a visit to Bank of America to take out a cash withdrawal at 3:30. The rapper and his uncle left in the afternoon. Arriving to Reva Motorsports in a black SUV, arrived to the dealership in a brief while following the artist and his relative MURD3R. Alan Michael Dedrick Williams and Trayvon Noam later boarded the SUV. Alan acknowledged in court that the four intended to plunder those who day, and upon seeing the rapper, he became the subject of their surveillance footage from inside the showroom demonstrated that Allen and Williams, the suspects, strolled inside the store where they made their purchase ski masks for their use in one operation inside. They verified their objective and put their nefarious scheme into motion. Following, after waiting for 30 minutes, the rapper and his uncle left the car business and entered his black BMW on security video. The SUV that was traveling in front of the Gnome is trapped in the rapper's vehicle, and MURD3R got out of the car and wanted his bag and chain from Louis Vuitton. During the altercation, the assailants allegedly took the rapper's fashion designer. Fortunately, his uncle managed to escape with the bag and chain of the vehicle during the fight, and despite the fact that the robbery was over, MURD3R is said to have retreated 1 or 2 foot distance from the rapper's car, took his rifle and fired 6 rounds. King Val, the next rapper, is murdering him. November 6, 2020. Vaughn departed from Opium nightclub after the successful release of Greetings from O'Block, his first album, and went outside to the Monaco Hookah Lounge. The moment V was set to leave the club car and go to the club, where one of his homeboy moved to the side of the driver and informed him of what he had just seen. Comrade rapper Rondo in the parking lot. In an instant, V was gone of the vehicle and making your way to Ku's direction. Quando was traveling to the club. V, with a few of his crew behind him, started attacking him, bringing him down to the ground. Men joined in and began to pelt the Quando as he futilely attempted to flee from his assailants. In an instant, one of Ku's homeboys, who subsequently known as Al, emerged from behind their car while brandishing a pistol and began firing bullets as all of them fled after being struck in the torso, as stated by V's supervisor, who was also fired, during which time everyone fled. Since there were more shooters than Lil Tim same evening, skulking behind the shadow of 2 officers who weren't on duty, Darkness began firing at the crowd after El Tim opened fire amid the 2-person chaos. A few of Vaughn's crew bolted for the police guidance and were also fatally shot. El Tim was shot by the police after the Dust V's men arrived and parked next him. They put him into the car before rushing to the closest hospital. Regretfully, Vaughn died during the procedure. South African rapper is the last on the list. Renowned Kieran Jared Forbes, also known as, who was fatally shot on the 10th of the startling incidents in February 2023, transpired outside of a Durban restaurant, where the close buddy of the rapper was. Tabello and Tibbs were traveling to a nightclub for an after-hours show before passing away. The rapper had posted all of his whereabouts on Instagram. Anything that a lot of people think was an exceptionally doing something risky for less than 2 weeks following his birthday. AKA was scheduled to play at the well-known nightclub Hugo in Durban. The rapper, all day long, keeping his fans informed about his location by marking every one of his locations first. He said that he would be taking place in Durban. Verify it out, examine it, examine it, examine it out, examine it, examine it, examine it outside now, come see me tonight. You went, sweetie. Afterwards, he shared a picture of his admirers. When he was about to board a plane to later on in Durban, the rapper went to a barber store, as shown by his most recent post, Hope Eatery, sometime after 10:00 p.m. That AKA and his companions were standing that night. When they were getting ready, outside the restaurant heading out to the club when the shooter approached them and shot AKA in the head, with his accomplice standing by waiting for Aka's vehicle to release further shots that resulted in one rapper's death. The two shooters then left with their pals. Scenario: while walking, and AKA in tandem with his friend were declared dead on the spot. Police, since they had never been robbed, thought that AKA had been killed. Doubts began to surface as individuals began to hypothesize that Moses TBE had anything related to the Moses incident. Aka's late fiance's father was TBI. The death of Nelly Nell Timby under strange events that occurred 2 years before Nelly was shot tragically by her. Death from a hotel's 10th story in Cape Town, not long after her passing. Reports of mistreatment appeared against, or, as he denied, while hotel employees informed the police that they had heard the pair. The rapper argued, insisting that Nelly leaped. It was thought that Nelly's father, a multimillionaire, gave the command to blame AKA for the death of his daughter, and the multimillionaire denied the claim. A year after the horrific shooting, 7 individuals were detained in relation to it. Was evident from the murder that AKA Tibbs was seen from the airport and not the intended victim of the killing. On the police on Florida Road in Durban declaration said that they were compensated. In light of this, the suspects who are in bars consist of 2 shooters who supposedly shot the victims many times. 3 spotters are charged with pursuing AKA from the airport in Durban, someone who is said to have obtained the weapons that were used during the ambush. Furthermore, to the purported mastermind who Foolio's deadly is now captured on camera, along with the designation of few of his ops by hotel employees, indicates that the rap scene in Jacksonville is set to substantially alter. We must just wait and see how things come to pass. If you click on the boxes if you like this video, displaying on your screen to see comparable material.